I will counter that. That is... Oh, someone doesn't want to play against counter spells. Alright, they're on the play with a mana dork, and I'm dead. Alright, I'm here with Brawl Storm Conduit. Mostly because of his -2, which is copying spells. So we get him into play as fast as possible, and then we try to copy some degeneracy, like an extra turn, time warp, Karn's Temporal Sundering. Discover the formula. If you copy this, you seek 6 things that are not lands, and then you discount your entire hand by 2, except the last 3 cards, which get discounted by 1. A bunch of counter spells. I actually started with basically every counter spell, and then I added more as I went. And then when I needed to make room, I started taking out the weakest counter spells, and it was something like this. Miscast, I don't know. We'll see. There's a ton of things in this format now that are like ramp spells. Like there are so many. Even Explore might be something to think about miscasting. So I think it's worth it. The bounce spells will go after mana dorks as well, which is neat. There's another counter spell that hits like toughness 2. Ooh, excuse me, toughness 2 or less, but I don't think this is the I don't think we're there yet. um, I had Jaya Ballard in here, which is a 5 mana red planeswalker, triple red, but the draw on it's decent. The mana to add to all of your spells is cool, but you kind of have to like do something with it immediately or like keep it alive, and it's a 5-drop. It's kind of hard to do that. That's why I don't have Jin Cataxius was also in here, and after looking at it, like I don't know, like if it's one of my few creatures, all of my opponent's removal is spearheaded into my one creature, even though it is pretty good at protecting itself, and it plays into the strategy nicely of copying my spells, but it's still pretty vulnerable. It's 7 mana, which means I'm tapping out. I'm not leaving up counter magic. I don't know. It's rough. It's not as easy as Double Vision. This is cheaper to play. It is much more difficult to deal with for your opponent. I think that's where we want to be. One Ring, it's probably so good in every deck. I don't really know if I have to keep talking about it, but there might be an argument to not putting it in here. I don't know. The protection for a turn is decent. I could die to it if I'm just spamming extra turns and I never get anywhere. It's hard to die to this and not just win from the cards it gives you, but we'll see. We'll see. It isn't necessarily a ramp deck. I can't offset the life loss, but it's probably still so good that it's. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. Do I need to explain it? Narset's Reversal can bounce my original copy of a spell. So I copy it, I pick up, like I cast Time Warp, I pick up the original Time Warp, I still have an extra turn, and then I can maybe do that again for another turn, even though I have to tap out again for this. So I don't know if that's like something we want to do, right? Because then it essentially costs 10 mana, even though I get another turn. It's just spinning my wheels, I feel, but it's still worth it. It is a counter spell. It can go after your opponent's cards. It can protect your own, like a remand, to get around your opponent's counter magic and stuff. It's not terrible. And yeah, I think that's about it. We have the treasures, pretty good cards to copy, right? Just double these up. It's solid. Doubling up your sweepers is decent enough, I guess. If the 5 wasn't going to do it, I don't know. I mean, you want to kill Atali and what's the other one? Atali and Atraxa. I guess you can copy these, although you're going to kill your you're gonna kill your Ral when you do that. It might be worth it. Might be something you just have to do, but I don't think that's something you should do, right? I don't know. We try to make a bunch of treasures, add a bunch of mana, and then just Banefire our opponent in the face. Or maybe they just scoop because we just drown them in value, right? Just too many spells. They just can't interact. Make people depressed. We'll see. Like, comment, subscribe. Here we go. And the one before that. Okay. Is this the, No, it's not. I like really want to keep this. It feels like a hand I want to keep. I'm in the mood to keep something like this, and you can't stop me. Look at this curve. Look at that. Look at this curve. Oh no, they have Once Upon it. No, you're supposed to draw first. What are you doing? You're supposed to draw a card and then cast it, right? Like you draw and then you see what you get. Opponent did not do that. We did not draw a mountain. Still kind of fine. This is probably one of the weaker cards in my hand anyways, but it's pretty good at dealing with the Somberwald Sage, that's for sure. I have nothing but this to do, so I will do it. Thirst? Sure. Hopefully they don't play anything that doesn't just explode to this burn down the house at some point. Do I kill this? I feel like I really should kill that. I feel like that's a pretty must-kill thing here, so. My opponent has priority and they're tapped out. Okay, we like to see that. Kind of like a turn being taken off so I can maybe safely play a Jace here. That's actually pretty good. I'm not going to -2 on this. Well, that would be good, but as it stands... Alright, there we go. I also need to make sure this is higher than 5. Oh, okay. That's different. I can just bounce it with Jace, and Jace doesn't die, notably. Okay, that makes this a lot different, I think, that extra turn. Do I hold on to the extra turn, or do I just, like, bounce those? I feel like it's insane to not bounce this. There's Banefire. Okay, we can play you. I will minus. And draw. Okay, I'll get rid of you and miscast, and then discard Whirlwind Denial. Sure. Mono green is interesting. You don't see that too often. What is this ultimate at? 8. So they have a second threat, or are they just swinging with the layer? Okay, so they have 2 damage here, which kills my Ral. No real surprise. I don't know how important Ral is, especially how I can recast it at some point. Although it would be nice to have it. So I have the Jace ultimate, but that doesn't necessarily win the game, but it is very strong. Yep, strong enough that my opponent doesn't want to keep playing. But to be honest, it does not just straight win the game. It's really, really good here, like really good, but it does not win the game. I could still maybe die to this layer if they just said screw it and try to close it out with this. Like, I don't have a super solid answer, but it's pretty likely I win. GG, cool first game. Interesting set of matchups so far. This is the one that, what does this one do? Yeah, I mean, I'm not respecting anything, so I'm going to play my cards. Okie dokie. This does not have... Alright. That was probably a horrendously bad thing to see here. Yep. so... Okay. Then I can bounce this. There's no reason to plus when we're both just, like, kind of doing the same thing. I'd like to dodge a 2-mana counterspell. I think that would be very important. Demi-Lich. This doesn't have haste, does it? That is very unusual to me. That is an unusual decision, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to see if this resolves. It does. I will do this. I'm not going to play anything. Scry 1. It's a land. It's also solid. It's just solid. So if this sticks around, we have this, which is extremely powerful. Okay, this is best case scenario. Sure. Father Damo, what up? I take an extra turn, I bounce this, and I do it again. These games are really fast. They're really fast. So that was an interesting one. Like, they play this, and they didn't recast it. They chose to play this instead, which is kind of interesting. They didn't have anything in their graveyard, and it is a larger creature, and it costs more mana, so it could, like, oh, just play this instead. But this one draws cards, and if this is, like, the strongest thing you can do, I think it's more important to draw cards. Now, I'm probably going to bounce it anyways, right? I'm just going to minus anyways. But I would still rather just play this, because it's more important to draw, if, again, the only thing you're doing is this. You're also leaving up 1 additional mana, which makes me maybe think a little bit more about my turn, because you have 2 mana up now instead of just 1. You want to guess which is the most important color in my opponent's deck? Alright, so... Sure? Yeah. Here, into there, into this. Okay. It's almost all creatures, too. This is another game. Narset's Reversal's looking kind of sus. I probably should kill this. But I think I really want to get Zarek into play. They don't have a threat to immediately kill it. Scrying is not bad here. There's certain things I'm really looking for. I think it's a good chance if I play this Prismari command kicked, or copied, I'll find a land, so I'll just bottom that. Green. Oh, you guessed it. You done did it. Look at that. I wonder what the most important color is in my opponent's deck. I really wonder. Alright. This poor format, dude. Never stood a chance. Okay, so we're going to do this. And we're going to... Yeah, we're going to do this. 2 damage and draw 2, discard 2. So 2 damage there. Draw 2, discard 2, and then 2 damage. Oh, this is the Ral ping. Then this and that. Alright. And then the Ral ping, which I'm going to wind up misclicking at some point, I'm sure. Okay, so we probably don't need Narset's Reversal. I guess I get rid of Into the Royal. Alright, opponent's done. Cool. We sent him back to the Stone Ages with the Prismari commands. And, yeah. So, I didn't think about this. You know, I probably should have just played the Mind Stone first. But I was really thinking I was going to find a land. But if I didn't, it would have made a lot of sense to actually Mind Stone first, right? Very little reason not to do that. So, that was a mistake in my opinion. What could possibly be better? I almost want to run Karn the Great Creator so I can, like, untap it. Shut down my opponent's artifacts mana, but... Whoa, we're against someone not playing green? What? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, no green. I wonder how many mana rocks are going to be in this game, though. Okay, let's play you. Leave up Counterspell. What do you do, actually? Enchantments, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so there's a mana rock. Don't really care. can play this. Do I play this? Do that. Boom, boom. Nope. Maybe last turn, but not now. Opponent does literally nothing. Okay. I am not interested in doing anything either. What does this do? Just exiles cards? Okay. What the hell is this? At the beginning of your upkeep, put an oil counter. Instant and sorceries cost 1 less for each oil counter. Well, that's disgusting. Well, if that's the case, let's do this. And you can only foretell on your turn, and I have nothing else to do, so I'll just do this then. Because if I waited, I couldn't foretell. I just have to do it in response. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. I should probably run this card, huh? I've never seen it before. It's like an as foretold, but like backwards. So I'm curious what this actually does. Like, why are we playing this and whatever's going on? Enters the battlefield, turn enchantment that isn't a god. You flip this, and then cast spells as though they have flash. This is a very unusual commander, that's for sure. Very unusual. Of course, opponent has the only counter in the game I cannot fight. So all their spells essentially cost 1 less on my turn because of the trigger there. I don't know what's going on. Is this just a counterspell deck? I have no idea. Apparently it is. I'll put it in the library, I guess. If my opponent memories it away, that's probably fine, but I don't expect them to actually do that. I don't believe Seeking shuffles, so I'll just get Ral off the top. Okay, I'm not going to counter mana. I don't think I can afford to counter mana. And I don't know if it's super useful for my opponent. So what are we discarding to this? This doesn't seem very strong as it stands. This will discount on my opponent's turn, so it's not as useful. Interesting. They let me get the treasures first. Okay, so I'm going to play Ral, I think. And then I'm going to leave up Supreme Will. A land is fine. A land is fine. Okay, so they smack Ral down to 2, but I do get a trigger off of it. Or they say, screw that, I'm just going to swing all out at it. Ah, that sucks. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So I don't have much to do, but if Discover the Formula just resolves, I'm not too upset. So far, this is just like a goofy, what's it called? Geist of Saint Traft. Which I now have an answer to. I'm gonna play this. I don't think I... Yeah. Do I... I'm probably gonna... I could just Banefire it. Could just take an extra turn for no reason. No, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna get rid of Volcanic Spite. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna cast anything else. This draws cards, so that could be a problem. Notably, that does not answer the Sphinx's revelation. They're not close to dying to Banefire. Even copying it, they're not close to dying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they're not close to dying. They could have waited till next turn to do this. They didn't have to do it immediately. But I guess it doesn't matter too much. So if I do loot, my opponent gets a second tick of discount, but I don't know if I'm in a position to not loot. Let's get rid of... Actually, I shouldn't get rid of anything, right? Everything in my hand... Well, no, the Banefire's kind of not looking too good right now. Ah, it's just so hard to, like, pass up not, like, spending my mana. No, I'm just gonna pass. I might even just crack this Mind Stone if they, tap out, like, super low. They do not tap out super low. Okay, so let's see if Ral resolves. I'm so close to dying that I don't know if there's like a wide range of things I have. I don't know how many decisions I really have here. I can minus it right now and do nothing, so that doesn't work. Don't think I want that. Not any reason to swing, I'll just sort of die, so there's that. It's extremely likely I'm dead. I am apparently not dead. Okay. Going face, sure. I am not dead. Do you have extra turns? What is this? Bounce spell. Okay, yeah, that's... Makes it so they don't have to go to discard. So, it's not terribly likely they can counter all of my extra turns. So we're gonna just try to go crazy. So, we take an extra turn. We bounce Heliod. Poke them. Can't believe I didn't die there. That shuts down... Wait, why would... No! No, they didn't let the copy of the Karn's Temporal Sundering. What? I can just bounce the Immortal Sun now. Okay. Me, this? Yeah, that was probably a mistake. Oh, they can recast it, though. Oh, not anymore. They should have flashed it in response. They should have flashed it in there. A little bit of a whoopsie-doo for the opponent. right? Because now they can't flash this in. They were able to, while for a split second there, I think. Yeah, they actually could have, but they didn't. Alright, let's do this. This is fine. Again, the discount is gone. They can't, like, do anything they or otherwise wouldn't be able to do anyways, right? This isn't stopping anything. The priority could be held just for activating this or putting counters here. Alright, so we lost that. That's fine. I have a bunch of extra turns, and I mean a bunch of extra turns. Hello, Mizzix Mastery. Can't really get rid of you now, can I? Alright, so I do this. I do this. I do this. Wow, this is actually crazy. This is about to get very stupid. This is about to get real stupid. Sure. That's fine. Don't care about that. What else is in my graveyard for Mizzix Mastery? They did take my extra turn. I guess not really anything. Okay. So I have a bunch of extra turns. I don't necessarily have to kill Ral for any reason right now. Just not do that. You know what? I have like a lot of good cards in my graveyard. I'm just gonna do this now. And poke them for a bunch of damage. But this doesn't necessarily kill them. But it'll be very difficult to not die from this. So I want to draw as many as I can before I discount it with the last card there. Oh shoot, that was not what I wanted to. I didn't want that spell. I wanted you. And I believe that is it. Yes. All right. Nice. We were going to draw. We're gonna draw what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These were stacked wrong. I should have had this on the other side. But yeah, we're gonna see 8. Oh, 9, 10. We're gonna see 10 cards. Poke our opponent for 7. We have 2 extra turns still, and then another 2 later. Yeah, that's just disgusting. That was a crazy game to win, though. My opponents had a Sphinx's Rev, and their entire deck was at flash speed. And they killed Ral like twice. That is crazy. Wow. Cool. I've never seen that commander before. Oh, it's Xenagos again. Oh, my goodness. Wow-wee. Oh, my goodness. Zenny. Alright, so I'm on the play this time, though. I'm on the play. Against the old Zenny boy. Don't have a lot of mana. Ugh, fine. Spell Pierce is looking real sus, but you know what? I'm not going down to 6. You could have played Island if I found a third blue source. Actually wouldn't be too bad, but we're just doing this. Just Power Stone next turn. Did not find another blue. I will play this. So am I playing Jace or am I playing Ral? Very unlikely either of them do anything crazy, but you never know. Probably makes more sense to play this, but... Well, I don't have an answer outside of the Jace minus. I probably just have to do that. Yes! Tyvar. Oh, it's another green deck with a bunch of mana dorks. Who would have guessed? Who would have done guessed? Okay, got 2 lands. Search is good. We're on the draw. I like the Power Stone. Yeah, this is good. Just kind of need 1 land. Pretty easy to find it with Search. Yeah. I have time with a bounce off of Cyclonic Rift. If I don't get to overloading it. I mean, we ever get into 7 mana? Usually once I get to 7, the game's over, so. This is fine. It's just like a 2 mana bounce spell as well. Okay. Was that the Jund one? Swamp Mountain Forest. Okay. I believe there's a different one they could run as well. Let's do that. Return this to its owner's hand. Top 4 land from among them in the battlefield. Yep. Just a generic mana dork thing. Although this is pretty expensive. It's not necessarily a mana dork, as it is more of a rent spell that has the potential to whiff. Unlikely, but I guess it could, right? Top 4? Yeah, it could. Do they choose on this one? Enters the battlefield, reveals their hand. Okay, so they take Power Stone, right? Oh, although taking Prismari Command is also totally reasonable, right? Like, this is absolutely reasonable, too. That is not ever what I would have imagined my opponent taking there. I'm actually very surprised. As much as I'd love a land, this might be extremely powerful later. And I guess I'm playing Power Stone? Yeah. This is kind of sketchy. It's kind of a sketchy keep. But I feel like it might do something at some point. But that point might be too far along. Well, it might not have been a good idea to keep this. But I have things to do still, so I'm not, like, freaking out too much. Opponent seems to be a little bit on the slower end as well, fortunately. So they don't have lethal for Ral in play, so I'm just going to windmill them. There's plenty of removal, though. That is removal. So that's removal. So far, Escanta not doing much. Bunch of scries to the top. Actually, I've surveilled twice and scried twice to the top. Or surveilled twice and scried once to the top. Just goes to show the power of my deck. Every card, even Island, is so strong. Island is officially the strongest card in Magic anyways, right? Without Island, there would be no Ancestral Vision. Old Stick Fingers. Okay. I played that as a commander before. That's a pretty cool one. Although I think it's like always a combo, to be honest. I think it's literally always a combo. Alright, let's see if my opponent instantly concedes. Although I guess they would have already because they literally knew this was in my hand. So maybe they're just not going to concede here. Right? They would have already done so. I can do that again with Mizzix's Mastery. I am not upset with more mana. I will lead with some card draw. Okay, land, you. This is an excellent card to double with Ral. Volcanic Spite. I probably should keep that. So, do I copy this now? I think I'm actually just going to do this. I think I'm going to pull so far ahead with this play that I'm not upset giving the turn back, right? Like, this is just absolutely disgusting. I draw like 9, and then, or I go to 9, then I draw 18 or 19 or something. This is just way too enticing to pass up. And how does this grow? Okay, so if I don't deal with it like immediately, it can become just too large. So let's deal with it immediately. Hey, it's the One Ring. Alright, so discard spells are still decent for them. Far less efficient, but they have to take Mizzix's Mastery when they do actually go to discard. Does that card stay in my graveyard? It does. Okay, so I can cast it again with Mastery, which is not quite decking out, but what is that, 18, 19 cards if I do that? I'm going to do it eventually. Maybe probably next turn? I don't know. Without Zarek in play, it's a little bit less exciting. But Ral's going to die, and I get to sweep my opponent's board with one of my many sweepers. Sweeperonis here. Almost accidentally put this in the graveyard, not going to lie. Don't need that. Alright, so we play you. We play the one that doesn't have any decisions to make, because the other one might make tokens. My opponent is not giving up. I respect it. I'm not really convinced I have to leave up counter spells. Okay, opponent gave up. Oh yeah, how much of their mana was in the form of creatures there? I guess kind of this one, but it was this. That actually would have tapped for 2 mana, so that was actually quite substantial. Huh, yeah. Cool. That was disgusting. On the play with a mana dork. Apparently that's a really good thing to do, so we're going to do it. I've heard this is really good. Have I ever actually cast Archmage's Charm? I have. I believe I've actually cast it in this format finally. I'm not going to counter a turn 2 ramp spell here. I think it's better to just get Ral into play with my own ramp spell. Okay. There's also the chance they don't have one. I'm just so conditioned to expecting them. Sure. So I have 5 mana next turn. Most likely going to Windfall here. Get rid of Charm? Could get rid of the land I just played, but I'm going to do something weird like this. Well, there was always a chance I didn't draw a land, too. But we did. It would have been tapped. Pass? Yeah. This is just probably too much as is. Like, these 2 cards alone might be too much for my opponent. I am actually going to let this resolve. There's very few things this could do that I care about. Like, very few. Even the counterspell isn't a big deal. The despark isn't too big of a deal either on Ral. So, there's an argument that they would scoop if I did counter it. But I think it's fine. I cannot be convinced. I probably win anyways with my... with this here. So we play... you... Yeah, we're probably just going to win with a cleaved 2 extra turns here, most likely. Okay, make sure I don't screw this up. Solve the equation. Ooh. Nice. Okay, I scribed backwards. I should have cast this first. Mizzix's Mastery. And then probably... oh, actually, you know what? No, let's just do this. This is more interesting. This is ridiculous. Oh, this is ridiculous. But you know what? My opponent hasn't given up. I have not shown them any way to, like, super capitalize on these extra turns. Yeah. Yeah, why not? And I just pass. It's actually an uneventful turn. Make sure there's really nothing to do. I could kick these. You know what? I probably just should do this. I think I will use my mana on this turn. It offsets and undoes my mana, my opponent's mana, so... There's no additional turn after this one, so I will discard. You know what? Maybe I should just play this. I highly doubt... No. Let's just get rid of this. I can always cast this later. I can cast this later. And I can just leave up counter magic here. Opponent has the One Ring. Gets censored. Yep. Like I said, if I countered... all of that might not have even needed to happen. If I just countered this, they might have just scooped right then and there. Because they basically countered... They scooped when I countered basically something very similar. This one doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, this guarantees I get an extra turn because they have protection. I actually can't kill them, but that's fine. Look at my hand. Nothing for the rest of the game is ever going to resolve that's relevant, right? So it doesn't matter if I let this resolve or not. They just tap to draw right now. Maybe they find a land, which I don't think... I think they did miss a land. I'm not sure. But if they didn't miss a land or they had a land in hand... They're going to feel real bad that they didn't play around censors. Actually, just more sand in the eyes. But I don't think that mattered. Maybe that would have bought more time in the long run. We'd be playing a wildly different game. But it was a game I might very likely may well have not just been dead like we were. You know what? I probably should have kept the first hand. Yeah. I probably should have kept the first hand. Mystical Dispute is actually relevant. I'm so used to it not being relevant, but it could have done something here. I will reveal a land. It's early enough. My opponent should expect I have a hand that has more than one land in it. I'll just leave up Spell Pierce. Maybe I hit a Mana Rock, but this looks like Merfolk. What is, yeah. Vigilance Ward 3, Leviathan, Octopus, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Of course, they're the strongest thing in the game. Can't really do anything about it. If I was on the play, this would be really, really, really nice. I'd have this, and then I could have this as well. But we're on the draw, so... Night and day. 4-drop, please. I will gladly negate that. If I can leave up Spell Pierce in the same turn window of something else, I think I'd like to do that. So I will just let them untap with this. If it helps them cast something, it means Disdainful Stroke is good. And if it doesn't, it means it wasn't doing anything. Well, I mean, actually, it still could, right? It can still literally do something, but... Into the north, yep. Okay. As much as I'd love to discard that. So I can play my commander. What does this do when it ends? When you cast a Kraken, Leviathan... Okay, so your big Kraken stuff comes with other stuff? It's goofy. Okay, it's very hard to not just do this. Especially if my opponent taps this, or they feel like they need to use it to swing. I think that's totally fine here. I wonder if I should ascribe this to the bottom. It is a discard for this. I did need 2 red. I guess I have treasures here. I'm not sure. Okay. This has ward 3. There's no way I'm killing it. I mean, yeah, we put ourselves here for a reason. I guess I'm just doing it now. Alright. Cool. So we play that. We leave up Disdainful Stroke. We discard Spell Pierce. Is this when you cast? It is when you cast. So I can't stop the trigger. I've never been hit by this before. Or played against it. That's interesting. They need a big spell. Of course they have one. And it's too large for me to kill with my board wipes. It is just a normal 5-6. It's not too scary. Obviously, we're losing Ral, but that's just what's always going to happen. I do not have the mana to poke this for 2 and then cast a sweeper. I don't really... I mean, I guess I kill this twice, but that's like 10 damage. That is a lot of damage, right? I could just play this. No, that's stupid. Is that stupid? If I make the 1/1s and they trigger this again, and then these 1/1s can ping things, and then it maths out better for the second version of this. You know what? I actually really like that. So we're gonna make 1/1s, and our opponent can't have anything, right? I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. And then we can maybe Hour of Devastation and sweep. Of course they do have something. Why wouldn't they? Always having it. We just take it, right? Or can I block 1? Block like this? Because there's only 2 things with 6 toughness. I don't need a third one. Okay. Seems free enough to me. Because it's going to die anyways. It doesn't really matter. Land, please. Ah, would really like to land. Okay, so... yeah. They can recast their commander. That's fine. Really wish I had a land. Very unfortunate. Alright, my opponent played a... what? Wait a minute. This is a Hydroid Krasis, but like literally worse. Okay. Play you. Probably big score away my command. I guess I'll do it now. Okay. Sure. Hitting a land there would have been alright, but this is fine. They found a land. I assume they just didn't have a land last turn. Okay. Tap. Let's just not take 11. Alright, they put that on top, and this would be an 11/11 because of the counters. That's kind of cool, I guess. So, I would like this. Can I play it alongside of my Ral? Ral costs 6? No, not even close. Okay. I need to not die to this layer of Hydra, which is difficult. Non-land permanent. This does not target this. This can be... it isn't lethal alone, so maybe I can just do this. Alright, we have a game plan. I could even minus here and do this twice, but I think this is slightly better. This doesn't work if my opponent... yeah, I think I gotta not keep that. It just doesn't work if they kill Ral, which is very easy, so I'm just not gonna let that be a thing. Yep. Interesting that they did not put this to 6. Oh, they're just going for lethal. Okay, that's totally fair. That's fair. Oh, you have something? No. Okay, whew. Got scared. Okay, so we do get Ral because my opponent did not put this to 6 and swing at me. They're just trying to close the game out, which is totally fair. Totally fair. Just make the attempt. Going for it is totally reasonable, but it's kind of a blowout if you don't do it, and they didn't, so... don't want to target them with the extra turn. No, that's going to happen eventually. Alright, something spicy, please. Neither of these deal with the lair, but so be it. Opponent's just Alt-6ing or Alt-F4ing, whatever it's called. Okay, I don't have anything to do. Another one of these is extremely powerful. Okay, I was just making sure I can actually do it before I, you know, don't do it. This is decent here, but it's slow and doesn't actually draw me cards, and I don't think I need the tokens or anything. I would like both. Honestly, I would like kind of all three of these, but I still am actually dead to this layer, so I should probably lead with an attempt to not let that kill me. Hand. Bottom, doesn't matter. Okay, so I will play this out. It is a blocker now. Solid, I guess. I can even cycle it away with something. Nope, let's do this again. Mind Stone. Redraw. Redraw. Okay. That can counter a layer of the Hydra activation, which is pretty cool. And... oh, I get another extra turn. Okay, shoot. I thought that was the last one I got. Oh, that is so unfortunate for my opponent. Oh, that was just insane, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that was just disgusting. Well, I think I just get to Mizzix Mastery them and kill them. Let me just make sure. 1, 4, 5, 6. Yep. My opponent had to suffer through all this nonsense just to lose anyways. Alright, so you... and that's it. Oh, I should have put Thirst on the bottom. I keep missequencing my my masteries, but it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Now, I don't believe my opponent is dead, but they are... there's like almost no way they're not dead, right? Like, there's no way I don't find something to kill them. I put my draw discard on the wrong side. Oh wait, no, they are just dead, right? Because I get an extra turn. Yeah, okay, they're just dead. Well, I like my opponent. My opponent's letting me do it. I can appreciate that. I don't need this. I can go away forever. And then I have an extra turn, and I can just take another one. Just to kick sand in their face. Just gonna hurry this up here. There's no reason to BM or anything. I mean, my opponent might not even be here. It doesn't matter. Actually, shoot. I could have just played 2 spells and killed them. Yeah, that's insane. I saw half my deck. Wow. Alright. I never got to Banefire anybody. But that's to be expected. I don't think this is a go big strategy, kind of like Clothis would be. Like, I like my Clothis decks to kill my opponent with Banefire. I don't think this is the kind of deck to do it. If they're at 25, or let's say they're at 20, I'd have to get this for 10 to copy and kill them, which is pretty steep. So this most likely will wind up coming out. At some point, maybe this was a thing you wanted to be doing, but Ral seems to be very, very efficient at just killing them much faster than that. Any extra turn effect is going to kill your opponent very quickly. I can only imagine what this format would look like if Nexus of Fate was legal. Probably shouldn't be, but I would. Yeah, I think we're gonna take Banefire out. I don't know what we're gonna add it later. The Navigation Orb is the first deck I've ever played with this. I don't know if this is the deck for it. I really don't know. Worn Power Stone is just really good. I'm not sure if I played with this one either, but this one's really, really good. It's like your Key to the Archive or Hedron Archive, which are 4 mana. This is 3, does basically the same thing. Just really, really strong. But this orb, I don't know. I like the ability to have ramp when I want it, like Wayfarer's Bauble. I can instant speed rampant growth, but this one costs 3. It's like, probably not the deck for it. There was no game in which I felt like I needed to cast this. And there's an argument that if you want to do this, it should itself be a land, right? And you just forego that. You're not ramping yourself, but you're just, you have a land. It might just be better. Or some other spell that's actually, like Divination could just be better. What else? The Negate, Spell Pierce, Miscast. Most decks have something to hit, but a lot of them have plenty of things that, like, early aren't going to get hit by these cards, right? Spell Pierce actually has the mana rocks are pretty prolific, but the mana dorks are extremely prolific. Like, this was a very good example. This play session was a very good example of showing what I was talking about before, is like so many decks have green in them, and then thus they have a ton of 1 and 2 mana early ramp spells in the form of creatures. So we could probably take out Into the Royal for more burn spells to just deal with those, because that's probably going to be a more consistent thing you do. You're also usually bouncing something that you could probably kill with a 3 or a 2 mana burn spell anyways, so you might as well just kill it outright. The kicker is decent, but you need 4 mana to do that. It's nice to bounce 2 things and draw 2 cards with Ral, but if you want to do something else alongside your Ral, like leave up a counterspell, you're probably going to not kick this. So it's probably just better to have actual burn spells. And the games don't seem to go nowhere near long enough for you to bounce something really large. Like Gristle. Well, you're not bouncing a Gristle. You probably lose if they resolve Gristlebrand, but, big threats like that, they don't come up too often. And they still have to dodge your other sweepers you got here. There's a blue one that bounces like everything but Krakens and Octopuses, the 4 mana blue one, but I don't know, these 2 red ones seem just good enough, usually. Especially when a lot of the games I see like half of my deck. So it's like, do I really need more? Cyclonic Rift is just disgusting too, so I don't know. Yeah, this could probably be better. I think if I do upload this list, I'm going to have to take out some of these other cards. Like, I wanted to leave up counter spells to buy time to get to the Ral and do all this, but it seemed like, alright, just let my opponent do whatever, and then just deal with the early stuff, kind of, and then just play Ral and win. So 3 mana counter spells kind of get in the way when you're playing a mana rock, and then straight into Ral. It's like, do I really need this? I never cast this. It was one of the first things I discarded every time I had a treasure thing, draw, discard, right? Faithless Looting might even be in here, or should be in here. We're just digging to like the same 20 cards or so every game, and that doesn't really help the strategy when your commander is a 4 mana thing trying to yada yada yada. So I don't think this should be in here either, to be honest, or things similar to it. This at least replaces itself. It can be a cantrip. Same with Archmage's Charm, although there was plenty of games where I did not have triple blue. But that's the price you pay when you're really adamant about having every land be untapped, which I still am. I think that is far more important than having cute, goofy lands. With that being said, a game would have to be very slow for this to do something, and there was no game even close to where I was able to use this. It's like a Search First Content that's flipped, and if you had both in play, most of the time, you would probably go for the Escanza activation and not this. It's just super slow, and the treasures at that point might not be relevant at all. In exiling your own cards is actually bad when you're playing stuff like Mizzix's Mastery. So I don't think that would be in here. Probably just a land, honestly. And by the time I have like 6 or 7 mana, I'm probably winning. So I really don't need the 2 treasures. But it was something to try. I've never tried the card before. I'm trying not to have the outro be super long, but I don't know. If there's something to talk about, might as well. Jace was very solid. If I'm ever in a position where I'm doing RAL extra turn nonsense, having ways to draw cards on top of that to actually win the game was just solid. This alone is just pretty solid. I like it. It's never bad. Especially if you can protect it, and it does a pretty good job at protecting itself, unless you're against Xenagos and everything has haste. Then they just go face and kill you anyways. Chandra ultimates pretty quickly. It's also a pseudo Hedron Archive key to the archive mana rock, because it just adds 2 as a 4-mana card. And the ultimate can kill your opponent very quickly, so I do like this. You get to see more cards as well when you're going banana sandwich. It protects itself, very similar to Jace. So that's a nice one. I never actually cast Beacon Bolt, but at any point I could have, it was Beacon Bolt for 40. So this is just a 3-mana removal spell, and it happens twice. It can't target Planeswalkers, but we're not really scared of Planeswalkers that much. Most of them play to the board, making creatures or drawing cards for the opponent, but we're kind of trying to just ignore that and go crazy, right? So if they have their own Liliana ticking away, like the 6-mana one, I don't really care, right? I'm just doing my own thing. You can have your Liliana, your Professor Onyx, or whatever, right? The Essence Capture is double blue, which is the 2-mana counterspells kind of get in the way with the mana ramp of your 2-mana mana ramp, especially when you're trying to do a turn 3 RAL. So that was actually kind of clunky, especially the double blue ones. That might be something to consider too. Maybe too heavy here. This one's just a land, but yeah. I think that's about it. Don't think there's anything else to say. That's basically everything you can say. I said a lot there. If you listened through all that, thank you. I think there was actually a lot to talk about this deck. I really do like Zarek. I think this is a really cool commander. I haven't seen it too often. I saw it like 2 years ago when it came out, and it was all over the place, but seemed to fall to the wayside. Maybe there is a stronger commander for the exact same strategy, but this felt extremely strong. In games where you lose very quickly, so it's not like you're suffering trying to pull ahead. It's like, nah, you just kind of died. But the games you win are also pretty quick. And I think I had like a 75-80% win rate with it just now in over 2 hours. I think it was 15-17 games. I won a lot of games across a very wide range of opponents. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, let me know what you thought about this list. If you play anything similar, got advice, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.